This is Coach Lee, and in this video I'm going to share with you 5 things you need to avoid doing around your ex if you want them back. First is asking if they feel differently. I understand you want to do this. That's the most important thing in your mind. Has there been any change in their heart? Have your efforts, no contact, staying away, staying strong, working on yourself, have those had any impact to reattract them? Is their heart moving in the right direction? However, asking the question about that is negative for a couple of reasons. First of all, it shows them that you're still interested. It takes away some of that fear that they could lose you, that you could get to a point where even if they wanted you back, that they couldn't get you back. And so it kind of puts you into backup plan mode. Second is, if they are still unsure and they've just not gotten there yet because life happens, because they haven't had time to reflect enough, for whatever reason, they're just not there yet, especially if this is inside of a month. And if they have to realize that they don't feel any differently, it can be a negative because they think, I must really want this breakup. I must really want something else. I must really not want this person because I don't feel any differently. So highlighting that for them, risking that you would highlight that for them, is something that could cause you to lose them. At the very least, it will likely push them away and harms your chances of getting them back. So do not ask how they're feeling. Don't do a progress report. If you see them in public, just be friendly and polite. If you two actually have an arranged get-together, it should be based on having a good time together and the experience. It should be something that they don't want to leave and that they're able to look back on and miss and want to do again and realize how much they enjoyed it. It really should not be a deep relationship talk, especially if you're saying, do you feel any differently? That's not what you want to do. Second, don't ask if they're dating anyone. I hear in calls and from people who send me emails that this is a common thing, that when people see their ex, they'll ask, so are you dating anyone? And it has a similar result as the first thing to avoid that I mentioned, and that is it shows them that this matters to you, that you're still right there waiting on them, that you are in backup plan mode, that there's not that danger that you could move on, that you could become strong enough that you go find someone else, and that they could even want you and not be able to get you back. It can also add a sense of drama because the suggestion underlined is that you're jealous, that you are potentially jealous that they might be dating someone. Even if you're not feeling that way or meaning to imply that, that's what they can often interpret it to be saying, is that you are pre-jealous in case they're dating anyone. And so it just serves to put pressure on them, to make them realize if they're not where you want them to be, they haven't felt that resurgence of attraction for you, and they just don't know. It only highlights that and lets them feel like maybe they really don't want this. And it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy in that oftentimes where your mind goes, the things that come from your mind, the statements you make in your own thoughts can lead your heart. And you don't want to lead them in that direction. Don't show concern that they're dating anyone. Don't try to find out, at least not in any way that they could possibly learn that you're trying to find out, because it only makes you look bad and only delays you getting them back or even ruins your chances. So don't do that. Before I get to the third thing that you don't want to do around your ex, click the subscribe button below so you can be notified when I have more videos like this that can help you get your ex back and build strong relationships that don't have breakups. Number 3 is confessing enduring love. You probably have that, and that's fine. That's normal. That's natural. If this relationship didn't mean anything to you, then why were you in it to begin with? Some people tend to act like after a breakup that you can just flick a switch and that the other person suddenly means nothing to you, the relationship means nothing to you, and you can just move on. If that's the case, then you likely have some mental and emotional health issues that need to be worked through. Because when you lose someone, be it to a relationship or even death, there's a grieving period. There's a point where you feel the pain and you wish things were different, and you even try to make them different. You try to restore what you had, and that's normal. But you don't have to open your mouth and reveal everything that's in your heart, because sometimes people aren't ready to hear it. Timing is key. And if you tell them that you still love them, that you're just here waiting, all it does is take the pressure away. Because if they think that there's no danger of you moving on, it, first of all, makes them live in a land that's not real. It's not based on a true breakup. Instead, it just comforts any doubt that they have in a way that basically says, if you ever change your mind, this person is still waiting on you. They're not going to move on, so there's no pressure. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to actually internalize their loss and see how you're dealing with that or see what that's really like, because you could get them back at any second. And when you're only a second away from getting something, you can't feel loss. But when you feel like you might have lost them permanently, like you could not get them back in the second, that's when you can really feel some of these things that you need your ex to feel. And when you confess enduring love, all you're doing is taking away the loss and giving them a fake breakup. You're not letting them actually experience the consequences of their actions, and it will shrink your chances of getting them back. So you may feel it, and it's a beautiful thing to love someone. I'm not going to call you a simp or tell you that you need to toughen up. The strength is in knowing the right moment. The strength is in respecting yourself enough to know it's not the appropriate time to tell this person that. You want them to feel like you could get away. You want it to be mysterious and for it not to be certain. Either way. Before I go on to number 4, get some more information on my emergency breakup kit. I'll link to it in the description below. It's the culmination of my 20 years in the relationship coaching service, and it can help you get your ex back. That's the emergency breakup kit in the description below. Number 4, don't brag about dating someone. Like some of the others, it's an attempt to make them jealous. It's bravado to try to make you look better, to try to force them to feel that loss, and they will see through it. A lot of these things can be summed up in saying, avoid being fake, avoid putting on a show, avoid trying to manipulate them or impress them. And by saying, I'm dating, it looks like what you're trying to do is make them jealous, which again, does all these things I've mentioned. It makes you look like you are in backup plan mode. It makes you look like you're trying to manipulate them, which is even worse because no one wants to be manipulated. When someone doesn't trust you, they can't be attracted to you, at least not long term. Maybe for a little bit, but eventually emotional attraction collapses when you can't trust someone. And so when it appears like you're manipulating them, like you're even lying or exaggerating about dating someone and all these people want to date you because you're just so sexy, it comes across as fake and like you're trying to impress them to the point that they think that they just have to do something to get you back. Don't do it. Number 5 is being mean. So trying to be cold to them, sending them some sort of message that they messed up and you're going to let them have it. Or even saying, you're going to lose me, or you might not be able to get me back, or I'm going to move on. Things like that. It seems so much like being manipulative. And if it's a negative statement and you seem like you're mad, it's a memory they will have of you when you're needing to reattract them. Ideally, this would appear as though this doesn't affect you, as though they can't get at you. Like you're a strong person with a great life, and sure, you wanted to be in a relationship with them, but you will find a way. You will move on. You will be happy again. You will live and thrive. That's the attitude you want to project. And when you show anger, when you're cold to them, it shows them that there's still a lot of hurt there, that you're bitter at them, and it almost makes them wonder if they can even reach out to you without being snapped at or treated that way. And so you don't want to leave that as the memory they have of you when they meet up with you. Show them you're strong enough to be nice, that this is not that big of a deal to you because you know you have a great life, and if this is not what they want, you don't want to be with someone who doesn't want you. Because there are other people out there. You may not feel that way, and I know it hurts, but you at least want to project that because they need to feel a real breakup. And a real breakup is that they can't just break up with you and then get you back like it's a revolving door. You may feel like that's true, but we can't have them think that. And so avoid being mean. Avoid being manipulative or fake. And there's a difference between that and projecting the best and ideal version of yourself as far as you're strong enough to move on, because that's where you want to be anyway. And so working toward that is not a bad thing. And letting them see that is not a bad thing. Please hit that subscribe button. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.